Hi, welcome to the Bluestem Book Talk. I'm Miss Kate. Thanks for joining me today. Let's start and talk about the Bluestem Award. So if you don't know what it is, it's an award that is for kids in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. There's a list of 20 books, and if you read some off the list, then if your school votes, you get to vote on your favorite title from the list. And even if your school doesn't vote, there's still a lot of fun titles on this list for you to read and have some fun. So, do you want to know why it's called the Bluestem Award? I wasn't sure either. So it's called the Illinois Bluestem Award because the bluestem is the state prairie grass of Illinois is called the big blue stem. So that's what it's named after, the prairie grass. There are 20 titles on this list. But I'm only going to talk about 5 of my favorites. So I'm going to just highlight 5, but know that there's a lot more on the list. We're happy to give you more recommendations if none of these are exciting you. First one I want to talk about is the unstoppable Garrett Morgan. How are things invented? Well, things are invented when someone needs something that doesn't exist yet. And this book is the story of Garrett Morgan. He was born on a farm in Kentucky. He was the son of freed slaves. And growing up, he was really good at fixing machinery and making things. And so during his life, he created lots of inventions. But one in particular was it's called the safety hood. He saw how firefighters, when they needed to enter a building that was smoke-filled, he saw that they needed a way to get in there without struggling to breathe. So I'm going to read you a little bit from the unstoppable Garrett Morgan. It says that Garrett knew that smoke and deadly fumes rose with the heat of a fire, leaving a layer of fresh air near the ground. He needed to create a device that could capture the fresh air and lift it up for firefighters to breathe. He fashioned a heat-resistant canvas helmet with 2 long tubes attached, one for inhaling, lined with a wet sponge to cool and filter the air, and one for exhaling, with a valve to keep the stale air from getting back in. The tubes joined halfway down the wearer's back to become one tube, dangling close to the ground in the layer of breathable air. Garrett spent 3 years crafting and refining his invention. His brother Frank helped him test the different helmets. After countless long nights falling asleep at his workbench, Garrett finally succeeded. He called his new invention the safety hood. Check this book out. It's a really inspirational title, and you'll love it if you like creating things or inventing or just want to learn a little bit about a really inspirational person. That was one. My next one is the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. There are 5 kids in the Vanderbeeker family. They're all very different kids with different interests and hobbies, but there's one thing they have in common. And that is that they all love their home, which is in Harlem, which is in New York City. And they love their neighbors and all their friends, and there's a nearby bakery. And the landlord, that's the person who owns their apartment, tells them that they have to move by the end of the month. All of the kids are super disappointed. So all 5 kids, that's Issa, Jesse, Oliver, Hyacinth, and Lainey, they realize it's up to them to try and save their apartment and get to stay and live there. Do you think they'll be able to change their landlord's mind? Or is it time for the family to find a new home? You'll have to read this one to find out, but I will tell you, you will really enjoy this one. It's really fun and funny and exciting. That was my second one. The third book I want to highlight for you is called Framed by James Ponti. What if you were offered the job to solve crimes for the FBI? And you're still in middle school. And your mom says you can help only after you finish your homework. That's exactly what happens to Florian Bates, aka young Sherlock Holmes, who helps the FBI solve a mystery when a valuable piece of artwork goes missing from the National Gallery in Washington, D.C. Along with his best friend Margaret, Florian is able to use his detective skills to figure out who done it. He gets to train with the FBI, and he gets to use an inhaler that's secretly a panic button to call the FBI for backup, which Florian does use when he's in a perilous situation. This is a great mystery, very fun and exciting. You're gonna love it. My next book I wanted to talk about is called Other Words for Home. Jude is a refugee from Syria, fleeing war in her home country when she moves to Cincinnati to live with her uncle, aunt, and her cousin. But fitting in a new country, in a new school, and learning a new language isn't easy. Jude is a great character. She perseveres even though she misses her father and her best friend, who both remained in Syria. She tries out for the school play. She makes new friends. It's a great book, and I'm going to read you just a little bit from this one. Other Words for Home. I glance at my mama and her newly swollen stomach and know this is part of my responsibility. I am the one who knows English. I am the one who needs to talk, but I am failing. Words, all kinds of them, bubble up in my throat, but nothing comes out. Mama reaches into her purse and hands the man an envelope. We watch as the man opens the envelope and looks through the documents. He studies each one as though it were a precious artifact, and every organ in my body holds its breath as I watch him make up his mind about us. Your uncle lives here? He asks me, giving me one more chance to prove myself. You are coming here to visit him? Yes, I say. Yes, yes, yes. It is clear as crystal. Relief bubbles up inside of me. One word in English, but it seems to be enough. The man stamps our paperwork. Welcome to America. So try that one out. It's, again, another inspirational book. Really lovely writing. I think you'll all enjoy that one as well. Just have one more book I want to share with you today. And this one is called Does It Fart? A Kid's Guide to the Gas Animals Pass. This one's pretty self-explanatory. This amazing book will talk you through different animals and tell you whether or not, yes, they fart. So I will read you one example from this. This is a goat. Does it fart? Yes. Goats have 4 stomachs full of bacteria, and they eat mostly plants, both of which make them fart a lot, and they burp even more. One time, an airplane carrying 2,000 goats had to land because all the farting and burping on board set off a fire alarm. We need to land now. This one's hilarious. It's also really fun and informative, so you can learn about lots of different animals and whether or not they fart. Those are the 5 I wanted to show you, but like I said, there's 15 more on the list, so check out those other 15 as well, especially if you've already read some of these, that's great, or if you just want some more suggestions to keep you busy. And if you have any other, if you like some of them, please make sure you stop by the youth desk and let me know. I'd be happy to hear which ones you're enjoying and what you think of all of these suggestions. Thanks for listening. I hope you read some off the Bluestem list this year. Bye.